Welcome to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. This is the world famous Bottom of the Stream podcast. Welcome back. Welcome aboard, right?
Yeah.
But not to the streamboat, to the space streamboat this week.
I thought you were going to say the stream ship, but you went with space stream boat. I also thought I stopped because I thought you were going to say welcome, like you normally do, but you didn't.
I went with welcome aboard.
With a welcome aboard.
Because we're going on a spaceship.
Going on a spaceship again. Second time this season we've been on a spaceship.
Yeah.
Or are we? Whoa. Who knows? Yeah, because this week we are talking about a film called Orbiter 9. Orbiter 9 was released in 2017. It is a 12. It runs for 1 hour and 35 minutes. Currently rated at 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb and is a Netflix original. 5.9. That's high. Higher than we've done recently.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Nearly 6.
That was very true. It's higher than your average Bottom of the Stream movie.
Yeah.
But, well, all I'm saying is I don't want to give too much away yet.
Yeah.
But wasn't last week's movie a 5.6?
Yes, I think so.
And that was a pretty bad movie.
Yeah.
Don't trust the rating, kids.
Don't trust IMDb, kids.
Make your own mind up.
This film stars a lady called Clara Largo as Helena.
Isn't that where Donald Trump goes for his weekends? Clara Largo.
It does sound like it, doesn't it? She's a Spanish lady and she has not made anything in English, so I can't really give you much about what she's been up to. Also stars a guy called Alex Gonzalez. Imaginatively, his character's called Alex. He's an X-Man.
Is he?
Yeah. He played Riptide in X-Man First Class.
Okay.
Alongside Bill Milner, who is also of this parish.
Oh, lovely.
Been
Yeah.
in two films.
Yeah.
So they work together. And Andre Parda plays Hugo. He is very famous in Spain because there's a Spanish drama series about Pablo Escobar that's been running for years and years and years and years. Yeah. 113 episodes, I think. And he plays Pablo Escobar.
Okay. In this movie, if I slip occasionally, and when I'm talking about the character Hugo, I say Steve Jobs. Please excuse me.
That's fair.
He was just dressed as Steve Jobs.
He really was, yeah. This film was written and directed by a guy called Hatem Karachi, who wrote and directed this film and has not written or directed anything since.
Oh, really?
No, he's completely barren. As far as IMDb is concerned.
Wonderful.
However, in 2012, he was voted by GQ Magazine, I think it was GQ Magazine, as one of the top 10 Spanish filmmakers to watch.
Okay.
And then 5 years later, he just disappeared.
Maybe he's got something epic cooking.
Maybe. There's nothing on his IMDb is even coming soon.
It's just something super secret.
Just not there. Yeah, exactly. Do you have a one-word review of Orbiter 9?
Number 9. Number 9. Number 9.
Nice.
That's a word and a number, so you can allow.
It was a one-word review, but also there was a number in there as well. Where does this film start, Nick?
We are in the aforementioned spaceship.
We are.
We're in the corridors of said spaceship.
I've written abandoned spaceship. And then my next note says not abandoned. There's a lady in a gym.
She's working out. She's working out hard.
Yes, she is working out hard. Which is quite weird that she's doing that when the... What do you call these voiceovers in ships?
Onboard computer?
Onboard computer. It's almost like an AI personality, isn't it, who's talking to her. Who informs her that the oxygen level on the ship is at 1%.
Oh, yeah. So you probably shouldn't be breaking a sweat.
She probably should be conserving that and not working out.
So she sits down and eats some jelly.
She does. Yeah, she has a bit of jelly.
Looks like jelly.
Why not?
It's just green space food, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the ship's computer informs her that the capsule will arrive in 17 hours.
Yeah, and then kind of like, I sound like I'm picking at it already. This just occurs to me as we're talking. Purely for the purpose of the audience, basically, the computer adds, you're going to meet the first human being in your lifetime.
Yes.
And she says, well...
I met my parents.
Yeah.
But it was a long time.
I get your point.
She's basically... From what we've gathered, she's been on the ship alone for a very long time.
Yeah.
For pretty much her whole life.
I think if she's supposed to be 20, isn't she?
Yes.
So I'm presuming
she was put on the ship as a baby
years.
and somehow managed to raise herself into a person who can man a spaceship alone.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that at all until that moment, and I'm like, how does a 4-year-old survive on their own on a spaceship?
I don't think it is specified, is it, at what age she was left?
But I think, no, because Alex at one point, we're skipping ahead, but he does say at one point, babies were left on this ship, on these ships, when he's talking to his therapist.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know at what point the parents
leave. That's true.
Yeah.
No, we don't think we do. That's a fair point. Yeah, so we find out their parents sent her off on her own, and she's been on this ship for at least a good 15 years on her own.
They were with her.
Yes.
And the next scene is this person, this woman, watching vlogs.
Yeah, she's watching old video footage of her parents.
Where they're basically explaining that they have... I don't know how they've done it. They've killed themselves.
There was a problem with the oxygen.
Yeah, years ago.
Even back then.
Yeah.
So they had to leave because I think they said if they stayed, there was 1 year's supply of oxygen left.
Yeah.
But if they left, she would survive for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Because for some reason they take up that much more oxygen. So they left her alone. So maybe it's only been like 10 years. But she's been left alone on the ship for a long time. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
They're the only two humans she's ever met. She's not seen another one for a very long time.
Correct.
That should build up. She's then called in by the supercomputer to have her weekly medical checks done.
Yes.
Which is fine. Everything's fine. She's all good. She could do with a bit more oxygen maybe, but she's fine. And then the ship rattles a little bit and it says, coupling initiated.
Yeah, we get a docking scene.
Yeah. Yes, we do. It is a ship docking with another ship. We should probably point that out. And a dude shows up.
It's a hot robotics engineer.
He
literally goes, I'm a hot robotics engineer and I'm here to service your ship, sorry.
Yes. He's come to fix the oxygen supply, which I presume she's been waiting for a long time, but
yeah,
he's here now.
And he's
just made it in time.
Yeah.
Because it's at 1%. So he's just made it in time. He's travelled wherever she's going. She's not far enough away that it's an issue that she needed more oxygen because somebody's coming.
Because he literally says at one point, doesn't he, if you were much further into your journey, we wouldn't have been able to come and help you.
Yes, that is true. My very next note answers a question that we asked not 2 minutes ago. Because my very next note says her parents have been gone for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember that happening, but I've written it down, which is why I make notes on these films. So he starts fixing the oxygen, and she is kind of watching him, chatting away to him. She's talking as if she's never met anybody.
She tends to her garden.
She does, yeah. Whilst he's docking, she tends to her garden. You're in one of those movies tonight, aren't you?
It's on the wall. She's got a wall garden.
Yeah, she has.
Like lots of little herbs.
You need them on a spaceship. It's becoming a thing in space
Matt Damon
movies.
did it. He started it, didn't he?
Exactly. It's becoming a thing in space movies. So she says to him, look, shall we have dinner together? I've never had dinner with anybody before. I've never met anybody before. Let's have dinner together. So he does.
Yeah, he takes a little bit of convincing.
Yeah, they're both a little bit...
I'm here to do a job.
He's a little bit standoffish at the start, isn't he? He's like, I'm not here to make friends.
Tradesman.
It was a bit jarring that he was a little bit off with her because you were like, well, why has he been so off? But then it does become clear, obviously, quite soon. And he says, this is the point where he says to her, look, you were lucky that you were close enough to her for us to hear your distress call. Yeah. Because if you'd have got any further to wherever this planet you're going to is, we wouldn't have heard it. And it turns out she's a colonist heading towards a planet called Celeste.
Yeah.
And that's where she's going. It's going to take a long time.
She'll be 40.
Yes, so there's another 20-year journey to go.
That's halfway.
Yeah. Next morning, she wakes up. The supercomputer says it's day 7,410 of her voyage. And she realizes she can suddenly breathe a little bit better.
Yeah.
She's like, oh.
I can breathe better.
I can breathe better. Yeah. So she goes and thanks him. He's like, I'm nearly done.
She's like, great. I can have a workout.
Yeah.
And breathe.
So I'm going to go and do a workout. So she does that. He says to her, I can't have dinner with you tonight. I've only got a few hours of work left to do, and I need to have some kip. I need a rest.
I've got a long journey back.
Yeah, because it's a long way back. Then he goes to bed, goes to sleep, and she comes in and climbs on him.
Yeah.
This was a bit creepy, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's asleep.
Yeah.
And she just mounts him.
Yeah, literally
and watches him.
Yeah. And she's kind of like staring right into his face. And before he even opens his eyes, he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you climbing on me? And she said, look, basically, I've been alone for all these years. I'm going to be alone for another 20 years.
Yeah, she's like, leave. I'm taking this opportunity.
I'm having you whether you like it or not. So he lets her kiss him. They have a bit of a kiss.
And the rest.
Because they wake up the next morning and clearly some naughty has happened. Because he wakes up with her in his bed. And then he's like, right, I'm off.
Yeah, he tries to
He doesn't
sneak
even
out.
say bye. He
tries
to sneak out of a spaceship.
Except he's got to put a spacesuit on and undock.
Yes, because he's been doctor all this time. So he's like, as he's getting dressed, he's like, yep, I was going to go. I'm sorry.
He's literally just about to go through the airlock. And
yeah.
she's like, whoa, where are you going?
Whoa. Can't just leave. But he does. He goes through the airlock.
He says to her, Alex says to Helena, I'm sorry about last night.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm not.
It was a bit corny, wasn't it? And then he leaves. So he goes through the airlock, but on the other side of the airlock is a corridor.
Yeah.
Which is a bit strange. I was like, what's happening here? I thought it was his ship.
Yeah, I did
he'd
as
gone
well.
onto his ship.
He's in the bowels of his cruiser.
And then he goes in a lift and an elevator.
Yeah, I'm still like, okay.
Okay, fair enough. It's a big ship. I was expecting it to be like a one-man pod, but it wasn't. And then he walks through a door and he's outside on Earth.
In the woods.
I
thought it was great.
I sat up and I was like, okay.
I was like, okay.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
This isn't what I was expecting.
Give me a twist after 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'd love a 20-minute twist.
Yeah.
I was fully on board at this point. I was like, right.
Because I've gone, this is not going to be the film I thought it was.
Exactly. This is not what I was expecting. This has taken a turn already.
Didn't say spoiler warning, but you're here already, so...
There's a massive spoiler warning in the episode description. People know what this show's all about by now. It turns out, well, he's on Earth, and she is on Earth.
Yeah.
We know this now. She's underground, but she's on Earth thinking she's on a spaceship when she's not.
Yeah.
That's all we know at this point, but that is what we've learned. He drives to Orbiter Program HQ, which is where he works. And this is where it is revealed that she is in a simulator and she is not aware of it. This is where we meet her with Hugo, and he says we're still 20 to 30 years away from launching actual ships.
Yes.
But they're basically studying these people. There's 10 of them, I think, studying them to see how they survive in this atmosphere
that pressure,
on their own for this
sunlight.
amount of time. Yeah, without sunlight. I mean, this sort of thing does happen, doesn't it? There's some Mars people who are in a bunker somewhere
like voluntarily.
These people obviously don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alex is a bit hesitant, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's like
Alex and Hugo run this company. They're not like they don't just work for this company.
Hugo's the boss, and Alex is like
the chief
tech.
Yeah, he's like the brains behind it.
And Alex, it was a bit clunky, but it may have been the subtitles.
Yeah.
Because it didn't quite ring true to me. It basically says, "Oh, this is the first time I've thought about the actual people down there."
Yeah.
Despite having worked here for 5 years or whatever.
Well, however long it's been, yeah. Because
I was like, right, I can see where this is going to go now, and I'm fine with it. But that was not delivered.
It was clunky, wasn't
very
it?
well.
It didn't ever say whether that was the first time he'd ever gone into a pod.
No.
Or if that was the first time he'd ever met one of these people. But I suppose when people are on a screen, it's different to seeing them in real life.
Sure.
That could be the reason.
No, because I think he'd been to 8 pods previously, is my assumption.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if hers was just... I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe. It did mention later on that he got some sort of radiation poisoning from being in them.
Yeah.
So possibly.
It was just...
It was unclear.
Presumably, he'd not, got his end away with the previous 8.
You don't know.
But...
They weren't all women, but you never know with these Spanish people. And Hugo says to him, look, you can't focus on the 10 people that we've got here because we're doing this.
He does, because Hugo says, go home, read up on number 10.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right, it does. Yeah, because you're going there tomorrow. Yeah, so you're probably right. But Hugo also says to him, look, you can't focus on 10 people when we're trying to save the entire human race.
Yeah.
There's billions of people that are going to benefit from this. And then Alex heads home. He meets up with some mates. And I think his mate's like a doctor, isn't he?
Yes.
And he says to him, look, you shouldn't have been entering the simulations, but your radiation levels appear to be normal.
Yeah.
So his mates are aware of what's going on.
This movie's also sponsored by Coca-Cola because Alex goes home and takes a bottle of Coca-Cola out of his fridge.
And couldn't be more blatant of showing it to the camera. Yeah. It's crazy. It happens.
He could have just turned around and go, I'm drinking Coca-Cola.
What a beautiful Coca-Cola.
Refreshing. It's like a party on my tongue. Now we're doing it. Oh, God, other drinks are available.
Loads of them.
There's nothing wrong with water.
I don't even like Coca-Cola. There's a news report going on in the background because this is bottom of the stream, and where would we be without a news report?
What, talking of evil fizzy drinks companies, sorry.
Go on.
I'm not going to go through it now.
Yeah.
But if anyone's interested, Google, why did Pepsi have the 6th largest navy in the world? Because they did at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
I shall Google tonight.
For you.
Definitely shall Google tonight. There's a news report going on in the background because it's bottom of the stream, and where would we be without them? Alex has got the news on, and the news is about him because this is the 5th anniversary of the first flight with a fully Android crew, which left 207 humans dead.
Yes.
And Alex designed the androids.
Yes.
However, still seems to work at quite a high level.
This was the first attempt to get off Celeste.
Earth. Yeah, to get off Earth. All of them died. 207 people died. It was pretty much Alex's fault, and this is the 5th year anniversary of that.
And the news literally goes, "We tried to contact designer Alex Rojas for comment, and we could not.
We couldn't find it because he's underground with a woman." We're back on the ship. Helena ship simulation. She says she wishes it had taken him a little bit longer because she's kind of lonely again now. I suppose it's if you've never had the contact with the outside world. When you've had it, you can't miss it until you've had it, can you? Then he goes to see his therapist, who is a dog.
A computer
dog. So it's anonymous therapizing.
Yeah, because at first I thought he was going to like a peep show.
It looked like a sex club.
Yeah.
It really did. But it's quite an interesting concept. It's anonymous therapizing. You don't see your therapist, they don't see you. And you take on like an avatar, and his therapist just happened to be a dog.
Yeah.
And he was chatting away to this dog as if it was normal. And he pretty much comes clean to her straight away, doesn't he? He's like, there are people in the simulators.
And she says, yeah, I know. It's the scientists.
Yeah, the scientists. Couples. And he's like, no, there's babies who have been there their whole lives. Yeah. And her face is like, oh my God.
She then ponders, we cut to Alex pondering his new epiphany.
There's a pondering
on a rooftop.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the therapist also pondering, also on a rooftop.
Yeah.
But she's smoking a cigarette.
And then Helena's also pondering in the spaceship because she's missing Alex. Yeah. It's a pondering montage. Pontage. He's at home now and he's watching her on some cameras because he's got a camera set up in his house to watch these people as well.
Yeah, well, he needs to work from home.
Yeah, sometimes. It's a pandemic going on, isn't there? Then he drives into work. And it turns out he's not going to work. He's going to her pod.
He's gone like around the back, I think.
Around the back way.
Yeah. and whilst he's around the back way, he starts the docking process.
So he basically turned up at Orbiter 9 again. Orbiter 9 is the name of her pod.
Yeah.
It's just basically like a little bunker in the middle of a forest, isn't it? There's like 10 of them. You see them from above. With a fence around it that says radiation, don't go anywhere near this. And he goes in. And he goes into the spaceship.
Doesn't bother putting his spaceship on.
Doesn't bother putting his spaceship on.
His baseball top on. And
scares the living shit out of her because she's like, it took him 17 days to get here last time. And then all of a sudden, the docking's happening again. And he just wanders in with a t-shirt on. She's like, what the fuck is going on? And he doesn't beat around the bush.
He doesn't give her much time to process this information that he's giving to her.
Not at all. He tells her the truth and he tells her straight away what's going on. He points out to her the cameras that are hidden around the place.
Yeah.
He shows her them.
He's already deactivated those remotely.
Yes. And he removes the chip that's in her arm because she is being biometrically tracked, which she wasn't really aware of. And he's like, right, we need to go. We need to leave. And I'm like...
She gets no say in this.
No, not at all. And I'm like, she's lived here her whole life and you're just taking her away. It reminded me a little bit. Have you seen Room with Jacob Tremblay? There's a lot of that sort of themes to it. I mean, that's one of the greatest films of the last 10 years. But there's that sort of theme of he'd lived in that room for all his life and she's lived on this spaceship all her life. And it's the same sort of thing. So he takes her into this airlock and onto the elevator and then suddenly they're on Earth. And she is very freaked out by this change of events.
He puts her in a box in his truck.
Well, first, she can't see properly to start with.
No, she's not seen sunlight.
She's never been out in the sunlight before. She's completely pale. And then she's obviously never seen trees or the ground or anything. So she's proper freaking out. And then he's like, right, get in this box. Get in my trunk. So he does. She does. He drives an electric Toyota Hilux, which doesn't exist.
Okay.
Yet. They are developing one.
It's the future, man.
They're developing one, but there is not one out there at the moment. So he locks her in this, it's like a radiation box, isn't it? Because for some reason, going into these simulators causes radiation poisoning. And so when he leaves, he has to put his suit in the
Correct.
in the box in the back of his truck. So he takes the suit out and he puts her in it. And he nearly gets caught by the security guards because they're like, this truck's giving off more radiation than it normally would.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, you've left your suit out of the box, you silly Wally.
Yeah, exactly.
And they open up the thing and he's allowed to go. So he takes it to the top of a hill because that's where people in movies go to explain things.
Yeah, he outlines the truth to her, doesn't he?
He basically tells her the full story.
And says, yeah, the oxygen thing was a hoax. I was really what I was doing was checking the onboard computer.
Yeah, just to make sure it was all on board and on working.
She asks about her parents, and he says, yeah, they're not really your parents.
No.
They were on the payroll.
They're
scientists. They were scientists.
Were they not really her parents? I think they were her parents, were they?
Oh, I didn't think so.
Oh, I thought they were, but they'd given her up as part of this experiment. But I might be wrong.
I thought they were just...
They were definitely a married couple.
Employees. Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I might be wrong. She said she wants to see them. He said she can't. They're military scientists. So he's like, let's go back to my apartment. We can live there. We'll sort it out from there.
Yeah, work out what we're going to do.
Yeah. And when they get home, they get into bed, and then she hears some thunder. Again, she's never heard thunder before.
She said, what is that?
What the hell is that noise? And then it starts raining, and he takes her out in the rain because, again, she's...
Time to find the umbrella.
And they have a dance in the rain, and it's all romantic, and then they have a kiss.
A wet kiss.
Don't say that.
Why? What's wrong with saying wet kiss?
Wet kiss is horrible. Ugh.
I didn't say sloppy.
Oh, no, don't say sloppy. Definitely don't say the M word. Next morning, she wakes up. He's not there. He's left her notes all around the place.
I think they could have done more with this.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, it sounds like I'm really picking at this movie.
Yeah.
And
there are bits of it that are just silly.
Yeah.
And wouldn't not have.
They've gone to the effort of showing us that there's all these notes around the apartment, like he's put, don't move my chess pieces. And presumably just explaining what things are.
Yeah, basically.
I thought they could, whether there's a bit of a longer scene here on the cutting room floor, probably. I'm not sure. But I thought it could have been quite a cute, sweet scene with her sort of moving around the apartment.
Yeah, and teaching her things.
Yeah, and it didn't.
No, it didn't. It didn't come of anything, did it?
Bit of a lost opportunity, I thought.
Fair play. One of the notes though says, "I'll be back in 2 hours."
Yeah.
Because he's gone to see his therapist again, and he tells his therapist what he's done. Basically, he says, "Look, I've broken her out of it. I'm in trouble. I'm not in trouble, but I could get into real trouble if people find out." As he leaves the therapist, she reveals her true identity to him.
She does,
which is very much against the rules. And she says, "Look, I've got an apartment. I don't use it. It's in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows I've got it. Yeah. If you want it, it's yours. You can, if you need to hide at any point, let me know. And then he takes Elena to an aquarium. Because
I think first they go to like a steampunk junk shop type thing.
Yeah.
And then she says, "Are we near the sea? I'd like to see the sea."
I'd like to see the sea. And he's like, "There's no point going to see the sea. The sea's all poisoned."
He's like, they've all turned to acid.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. But there's an aquarium where we've rescued a lot of sea creatures. Yeah. We'll go there. And basically, he teaches her all about the sea, and it's really romantic, and it's nice. Oh. And she sees sharks for the first time and things.
That was nice.
There was a nice scene.
It was nice. I thought their chemistry was pretty good.
I did as well, to be fair. Agreed. Then he teaches her how to use chopsticks out in the rain, having some Chinese food in the streets. It looked very Blade Runner at that moment.
It was because it was interesting. I kind of at times wanted to know a bit more about this world.
Yeah.
Because they referenced, having a past back in Spain.
Yeah.
And I was like, do countries not exist anymore?
It certainly felt like it.
Yeah.
I don't know where they were.
No, because it was almost a bit... When they were out for dinner and stuff, it was always had a bit of a, like you say, Blade Runner-y, Tokyo-ish kind of vibe.
Future Japan style.
Yeah. And I just thought, I think there's obviously more to this world that this movie hasn't got the time or the budget to tell us about. But I thought that was quite intriguing.
I'd agree with that. I really like that scene. It was really shot really nicely.
Yeah.
There was, it looked really cool. He goes out again. She tries to access he's got a secret room in his apartment, which is basically where he keeps all of his documents on the project.
But she's quite naive. So Helena says to Alex, there's a room I can't get in. What's in there?
Yeah.
So he's not hiding it. And she just outright said, what's in there?
What's in there? And he takes her in, to be fair. He's got like a lock on there that you have to draw a pattern on to get in. And he does. He takes her straight in. He shows her what's in there.
This is
He's not
working
hiding
from home
anything
room.
from this woman.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the office. Everything about the project is in here. She can see on the cameras that he's tricked her cameras in her old pod to still believe that she's in there. It's like looping the video
Because there's no cameras in the
living quarters
or the bathrooms.
Yeah.
So it's basically just the corridor.
The corridor
of the ship.
the corridor and the entry dock,
Yeah.
basically. So occasionally she'll walk past it on the
Yeah.
camera, and that's all you see. And it was revealed at this point to us that because she says to him, "Well, what happens in 20 years when they get to their destination?" And he says, "Well, they won't. There'll be an issue. There'll be a navigation issue.
Yeah,
these people are never getting out.
We'll
of these
say
ships.
that the journey's been extended. Indefinitely.
And the only way out of these ships is for the people to die."
I thought this was a well delivered line because
agreed.
I think his words are the doors will only open when there are no vital signs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's
grim.
brutal.
It's brutal. But yeah, these people are never getting out, and they're never going to arrive at their destination.
And she's like, how could you? How
Yeah.
could you be involved in
She
this?
feels betrayed by him,
Yeah.
because it's horrendous. But then she's not too fussed about it because they
Well,
go out through-
he opens up though. And
Yeah, he does. He
he
tells her
says, "Well,
everything.
look, this is who I am. This is what happened with the crash.
Yeah.
You know, where I was coming from is that this can save billions of lives.
Yeah.
Um,
We sacrifice 10
Yeah.
for the billions. He's really open with her, or there's one huge fact that he doesn't tell her.
yes.
But apart from that, he's really, really open with her about everything. She's not too fussed because they go out for a drink with his mates now.
Yeah.
And they basically come up with this fake story about who she is. His doctor mate knows who she is.
He's onto it pretty quick.
Yeah, because he knows the people in the simulations.
Yeah.
Because he knows Alex has been.
But the cover story is that she's a new employee.
Yeah.
At the projects that Alex knew from back home in Spain. I think he said
Yeah.
when they were kids.
Yeah. We're basically given that scene to introduce us a bit more to this doctor because he's needed in the next one.
Yes.
She spots some marks / lesions on her back.
Yeah.
So he's like, right, let's go and see
Chow,
the mate who's a doctor. I've written here the doctor's onto him. It's pretty clear.
Yeah, he
the
says
doctor knows
this-
exactly what's going on.
He says her skin's extremely delicate. It's almost like she's never been
Out in the
in
sun.
the sun before.
And now the sun is burning her every time
Yeah.
she goes out, even though she's got clothes on. But yeah, that's basically what's happening. That she's not used to the outside world and it's burning her. Then she gets the big revelation. She goes back into this secret room.
Alex is at work.
Alex is at work. He's out somewhere, and she pulls some files down off the shelves,
Yeah.
which have the details of all the different people in the room.
Yes.
And she finds out that she's a clone,
Yeah.
and they all are.
All the
these 10
people in these
So they've not used
orbiters.
They've not
are
used human guinea pigs. They've cloned humans to go into these simulations.
Yes.
It upsets her because finding out you're a clone is probably the worst thing you can find out.
But what the file does give her is the information on who her alleged parents
Yeah,
are,
in
and there's an
inverted
address for them.
So she goes. She runs away.
She's on the train.
She knows how to use a train.
Yeah.
You do have to forgive some of the stuff in this film because things like that. She knows how to
She manages to get
to this-
out, find a train station
even know what a train is
and money,
and money, and
get on the right one,
and know how to get to this address that she's found.
all the while Alex is sitting in a meeting at work,
Yeah,
and the Hugo guy is just monologuing.
yeah. Basically, he's basically given a presentation. He's given us some exposition on what the program is. She gets to her parents' house, and they basically say, "Look, you're an exact copy."
I thought this was a good scene as
Yeah,
well.
it was nice. The parents played it quite well, to be fair. They say to her, "Look, you're an exact copy of a perfectly healthy human being."
You're a clone of someone who died 2 generations ago.
Oh, is that what it said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which made me think, oh, right, so they're not a clone of anyone who's still around that you'd have a relationship
Yeah.
with, sort of thing. So I'm pretty sure they weren't their parents.
No, that's fair. Okay, that makes sense. But she wouldn't have parents if she was a clone, I suppose.
Well,
She's just
yeah.
been made, hasn't
Yeah.
she?
But, yes, but what I'm saying is it's not a clone of, their
Their daughter.
a kid that they'd had previously.
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
fair enough.
Because I wondered if that's where it was going.
Yeah. Her mother's a lot more receptive of her than her father, in inverted commas, is.
Dad lays a cuff on her.
He literally handcuffs her to a railing
Yeah.
outside as she's talking to the mother.
He says, right, I'm calling the authorities.
Yeah, because he's a scientist
You are
and
busted.
he works for this company,
Yeah,
and he
shopping
knows that the shit's about to hit the
He's
fan.
like, I've already done it once.
Yeah.
Doing it again.
I've written it. Alex realizes he's an idiot for leaving her all the info hanging around in the house about her being a clone. And then her mum lets her go.
Yeah, but not before she's walloped the dad around the head with a candlestick.
She does wallop the dad around the head with a candlestick.
I think it might have been a glass. It was something
something heavy that knocked him out anyway. And then her mum lets her free and she goes back to Alex.
She says, just look, get out of here. He's going to come round and call them. Yeah, so
shit's going to go down. The shit's good. This is all being revealed now. Yeah. She goes back to Alex. She's really angry at Alex for lying to her. So they have to do a run-up because Alex is like, well, we know now that the secret's out.
We're going to be busted.
We're going to get busted. They
hit the road.
They hit the road and head to a motel where he calls the therapist from Sylvia, and he says, "I need this place that you offered me earlier. Can we meet up so I can get the key from you?" Then we meet Alex's boss's boss. So Hugo's boss is a lady.
Hugo's boss.
Hugo's boss. She basically says to Hugo, "Look, there's no way she can go back in."
She actually says, "I don't care."
Yeah.
If she goes back in or not.
Yeah.
Just sort this fucking mess out.
Sort it out.
Steve Jobs looking nerd.
He looks more like Steve Jobs than he does Pablo Escobar. That's for sure. He says she can't. She pretty much can't go back in, but you need to find her and you need to sort it out.
Yeah.
Implying you need to get rid. They go to the therapist's office. Meanwhile, Alex's flat is being ransacked while they're not there. The guards are out.
I had a bit of a problem with this.
Go on.
Because they get to the therapist's office.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Alex's flat's being ransacked.
Yeah.
And I know they're left in a rush.
Yeah.
But it really pissed me off that he just left the therapist's card behind, but next to his telephone.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's a bit lazy, lads.
It is a bit. I'll give you that. It kind of he was in a rush, so she was the last number he wrote.
And he said this big red rectangular card that stuck out like a sword.
Yeah, fair. So they go to the therapist. So Alex goes there.
She's like, "Here's the keys. This is where the apartment is.
Yep.
Go and lay low. No one will know you're there."
Yep. Then Hugo turns up with some guards whilst they're still there. So this is all going to go down now. They know that Alex and Helena are there somewhere.
They think
she's there somewhere. The therapist plays it quite well because she's like, "They're not here. I've not seen them. I don't even know who that is." And he's like, "Right, turn your machine on," because there's obviously a computer screen that
take it to your booth.
Yeah, simulates what's on the other side of the screen. So that they do sit opposite a screen, but you can't see.
And she says, "Well, it's all shut down. I told you.
I was about to go home.
Go home."
Yeah. So they turn the screen on and it reveals two dog faces because Alex and Elena are in this other room.
Yeah, the other side of this
the screen kind of
screen.
AI generates face mapping. So if there's somebody in there, it will map the face and turn it into a dog. So Alex says to Elena, "Don't move. Don't even blink.
Yeah.
Because if we move, they're going to know that we're in here." And Sylvia says, "Yeah, it's just a computer generated
It's basically a screensaver.
It's a screensaver. There's nobody in there.
Yeah.
It's just, it won't move.
They won't move. Yeah. She says really loudly, the images will not move."
Yeah. So obviously communicating. One of the guards thinks he sees one move. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Alex trying to be still was not very good at being still. The camera kept going up on him, was like, "Well, you're definitely moving." So to try and make them move, Hugo shoots the therapist in the head.
Yeah. That does it.
And that does do it because Elena screams, jumps back. Alex jumps to try and save her. And we've got a foot chase going on.
We have.
So they escape. Hugo and the guards run after him. We get a rooftop chase.
Yeah.
I love a good rooftop chase.
We go through like a fabric factory.
Yeah.
Up onto the roof.
Yeah. I love a good rooftop chase. You can't.
Yeah, it's like we're back at What Happened to Monday.
Yes. Yes, you can't beat it. They get to a dead end. You could make it, but you've got to jump quite a long way to make it. So Elena says to Alex, "Right, you jump, I'll follow you because I don't really know how to jump. I've never jumped before."
Which I think is a fair question.
Yeah.
He's like, "Can you go first? Because I literally I'm not sure what you're asking of me here."
Yeah. So he does. He runs, he jumps, he makes it, he lands.
He sort of barrel rolls, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Safely.
And then Helena lets herself get caught.
She freezes.
I
think she froze at first, but then it changed in her head to,
"I can save him now by getting myself caught."
Escape.
So she gets herself caught, basically. Alex doesn't try and go after it. He just goes to a pub. He goes straight to a bar to drown his sorrows. He meets up with his mate, the doctor. What was his name?
Chow.
And he says to her, look, she's not in a good place. She has a mutation in her epidermis.
Yes, I've got the skin results.
Yes, and that means that she can't live outside the simulation.
Yeah.
She's been in there too long.
Eventually it will
kill her because
the exposure will kill her.
Yeah, she's not used to the outside world. And Alex says, well, they won't put her back in, so there's only one option: they're going to kill her. We cut then to Hugo.
Oh no! And then at the end of the scene, Charles goes, "And there's something else."
Did he?
Yeah.
What did he say? What was there something?
That's
else?
what he says. And then the scene cuts, and then it cuts to.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, so he tells Alex about the skin mutation, and he says, "And there's something else."
Right.
And then the scene.
Oh, okay.
And then the scene,
I know what there's something else.
Yeah. And then the scene cuts
Yeah.
to Alex and Chow having a hug outside.
Yes,
and
it
they
does.
go in their separate ways.
Yeah. Okay.
And
fair.
we, the audience, do not know
what there's
to
something
what
else.
he was referring.
I had not picked up on that, but well done. We cut to Hugo and Elena having a conversation. He says, you can't go back in. We've disconnected the pod. It doesn't even exist anymore. And you're absolutely no use to me whatsoever.
Yeah, because he's like, your biometrics are compromised.
Yeah.
The readings are useless for us.
Yeah. She says that's fine, but you must leave Alex alone.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do to me. Leave him alone. Hugo then goes to see his boss. And she basically says to him, well, she's got to die. You've got to kill her. You've got to finish her off.
Yeah.
But that conversation happened in English.
Yes, it did.
For some reason.
Because Hugo boss's boss.
She is an English lady.
Yeah.
But she didn't speak English in the other scene to Hugo.
I know.
But she did in this one and the next one.
Yes, that's true.
And they're not subtitled. So for some reason, the people in Spanish are not allowed to know what happens in that scene. But she says, yeah, you've got to take her out. You've got 24 hours. You've got to finish her off. Get rid of her.
Yeah, she says it costs too much to put her back in. It was wasting my money.
You just need to kill her. If she's going to expose us, you need to kill her. She doesn't say you need to kill her in so many words. But
she says you know what you've got to do. You've got 24 hours.
The implication of what she needs to do. Then Alex calls Hugo.
Yeah.
And he's like...
He's on the offensive because he says to Hugo, I've got a deal for you.
Yeah, let's make a deal.
Like he's holding some sort of chip.
Yeah.
And I, at this point, I'm like, oh...
Interesting.
That is interesting.
What is the chip?
Yeah, what has he got?
Hugo has a really nice line because he says to him, you're a scientist that fell in love with the mouse. And I really like that line. It's quite cool. Yeah. That's exactly what's happened. Alex says to Hugo, look, you've got everything to gain from this situation and nothing to lose.
Yeah.
My deal will work for you. It is what you've always wanted. And then Alex drives to the office.
Yeah, and we've got a montage of Alex driving to the site.
Yep.
And Helena is strapped to a gurney, and they're basically taking her to be put down.
Yeah, they're going to put her down. There's a man with a lethal injection.
Yeah.
Ready for her. Alex speeds to the side, breaks down the gates, drives straight through the gates.
Yeah.
Gets out of the car and immediately gets shot by a guard.
Yeah, he gets out. He's like, I'm here to see Hugo. Hugo knows I'm coming. And then he just gets shot anyway.
Yeah, the guard just shoots him anyway.
Well, it's a bit OTT.
To be fair, the guard did say to him, look, stop moving. But he didn't. And then Hugo comes running out, saves him, basically. And Alex says to him, look, I want to go in.
With her.
Put me in there with her. There'll be two people in there. And it'll all be sorted. This is what you've always wanted. So they do. They get reunited.
We're still like, we don't know what this deal is yet.
No, we don't know what the deal is
but
yet.
Suddenly, Helena is off the gurney, and we cut to them being reunited.
Yeah,
Alex and Helena are the other side of like a viewing window.
Yeah.
Hugo and the suits are watching them.
Yeah.
And they have a kiss and a cuddle.
Yep.
Remarkably, Alex has recovered quickly from his gunshot wound. But
quite quickly.
It's the future.
It went
so maybe
through his
you
shoulder.
could do that.
It was fine.
Yeah.
And they reveal to Hugo that Elena is pregnant.
Yeah, she's going to have a little girl.
Yes, which means... And Hugo apparently has always wanted to monitor a birth in the simulator to see how it would work. It's been his lifelong ambition.
Yeah.
And so he goes and tells his boss. His boss says, again, in English, I don't give a shit. It's your call. It's your fuck up.
Yeah.
If you want to monitor that, do what you want, basically, is what she says. And Elena walks right... I don't know why I just went to Jonathan Ross mode then. She walks right up to the window to Hugo's face on the other side.
Yeah.
And she says, I have one condition:
Yeah.
war.
That's the last time we see him.
And that is the last time we see any of them. Because, and except Hugo, we see an older Hugo.
We do,
now.
yeah.
A much older Hugo is now standing outside Orbiter 9.
Yeah.
Outside the pod. He's what? He's grey, he's old, he's got a beard.
Yeah.
He's 20 years older than he was previously. And
did you pick up on sort of some of the background noise?
No.
So there's a lot of
ships flying around and explosions going on.
Yeah, so I think it was ships launching.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It certainly seemed that way. Yeah. And then what I would describe as a teenage girl walks out of Orbiter 9.
Yeah.
And kind of looks back over her shoulder.
She smiles at Hugo, and Hugo smiles like it looks like
Hugo's
affection.
Absolutely, it is absolutely affection.
And then she
looks back over her shoulder, and you can see there's somebody. You can see there's somebody there. We don't know who it is, and then the film ends.
Yeah.
What did you think of this film, Nick?
Do you know what? On the whole, I enjoyed this film.
I agree. I thought it was a lot.
I feel like I've picked at it a lot in the review.
Yeah,
but
we tend to do that with the good films because we tend to pick at the minor things that we wouldn't necessarily pick up on a bad film.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a lot. It was not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting more of a Origins Unknown kind of situation here. That sort of vibe.
This film that film wishes it was this film. I always say, well, not always, but a lot of the time we just have twist for twist's sake. This was well placed and it worked. 20 minutes in.
Give me a twist 20 minutes into the film and then explain everything to me afterwards.
Yeah, I'm
all right with that. It's a much better way of doing it than revealing it at the end. That this is the twist that she's not really on a ship.
I liked the way the ending was handled as well. So the condition presumably is that their daughter gets to
leave the pod and go for real,
and go to the new planet.
Yeah. Hugo's obviously watched her grow up on these monitors over the years.
Yeah,
that's the affection. Everything makes sense. That's what I would say about this film. Everything, there's nothing wrong with it because everything makes sense in the end.
Whereas Alex and Helena will stay behind to die.
I guess. Yeah. Well, they can't go out because the radiation will kill them.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to die in the ship. I thought it was a lot better than I was expecting. About halfway through, I was like, I'm actually really enjoying this.
I didn't check my watch once.
No, I didn't. No, my phone never went into my hand.
I was invested.
Yeah,
it's not perfect.
I had to rewind.
Lazy at parts.
Yeah, there are bits of it that are lazy. Some of the writing's a bit shoddy.
But on the whole, I think the performances were good.
Yeah, agreed. I had to rewind a couple of times because, again, there's no fucking dub in this film. It's the third time. We've never had it before. There's the third time this season has happened.
But this is... It's pretty niche and bottom of the stream, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So I'm surprised it's not happened to... I think what I'm saying is I'm surprised it's not happened to us more often.
Yeah.
In the history of this show.
The two we've had before have both been French films, and this one's Spanish, so there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason of what is and what isn't dubbed. It isn't dubbed into any other languages, in fact, on Netflix. There's only Spanish. There's only the Spanish audio on there.
Yes.
But on the whole, I think it's a really good film. There's a really nice story. If you're looking for a fun sci-fi romantic love story, that's what you got, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
No issue with it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more than I was expecting to.
Yeah,
because I don't really do space films. I don't really get a lot out of them. But no,
and the things we've picked it apart on are small things. Because if we'd have really wanted to go at it, I could have gone on. He's pretty horrible to her.
Yeah,
the things that he's done by being involved in this project, and they do try to address it, but it's low budget. I can understand why.
Yeah. He makes up for it.
Yeah. Because
of how he handles the situation. But
yeah. I would have liked to have known more about this world, I think. But that's not going to happen in a film of this budget.
No.
And this...
No, it's not.
It works because it is small scale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about it?
Is it the twist?
Yeah, I think it probably is.
Is it flipping your expectations like that?
So early on as well. So I wasn't expecting it to not be a space film, which
me neither.
A space film.
Me neither.
And yeah, I think it probably is the twist.
Yeah.
What would you change about it? I'd like you just said, I'd like a little bit more world building somehow.
Yeah.
Even if you just do it for a news report of the world's going to end in 20 years, we're fucked.
Yeah, and we're here because of
this,
war,
this,
or
and
we've
this.
broken the environment. Because when he's driving home after having visited her for the first time, his car radio comes on and it says, "Oh, the weather tonight. The Environment Department is creating storms for the next 2 nights." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's that's really interesting." So I think it is. I would have liked a bit more of that context.
Tell me more about the world.
But again, I understand why that's not here.
Yes, same. Cool. Do you want to talk stream table?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, nor me. Shall I read up from? I'm not going to read from the bottom. We're not anywhere near the bottom of the stream.
Okay, I will suggest a starting point. I think it's it's going to fit in the top 10.
10, okay.
So let's go to the top 10.
Current top 10, and the bottom of the stream season 6 stream table is at number 10, A Classic Horror Story. At number 9, The Perfection. At number 8, Containment. At number 7 is Arlo the Alligator Boy. At number 6 is Aries. At number 5 is Good Time. At number 4 is Hello, My Name is Doris. At number 3 is What Happened on Monday. Currently number 2 is Nick's wildcard, Under the Shadow. And currently number 1 is Samuel Holland's wildcard, Apostle. What's your instant thought? I've got one.
My instant thought is that it's not necessarily where it's going, but this movie pairs with me with a couple of movies we've already got in that top 10.
Okay.
Aries.
Yeah.
It's a similar
vibe.
Sort of futuristic
yeah.
vibe. And What Happened to Monday.
Okay, so you're...
It's a European... I'm not saying that it's that high, but
somewhere around.
But I've got those sort of vibes with this movie. My start for 10 is that this... It's probably just outside the top 5.
Okay. So you think just below Good Time?
I think that's my starting pitch.
So as I was reading through the top 10, I was like... I got to a point where I was like, I think it goes there.
Yeah.
And for me, that happened just above Good Time.
Oh, okay. So one higher.
But then I didn't like Good Time as much as you did.
Yeah.
So that probably explains why that's happened. I think it's better than Aries.
Yeah, I think so. There's a bit more meat to it, isn't there?
Yes, absolutely. But
Aries is really well done, but it's quite a shallow move. It does what it does well, but it's...
Yeah, absolutely. And
there's some bigger themes to this.
I don't think it's as good as Hello, My Name is Doris. And I think that film lives and dies on Sally Field's acting performance. Yeah. I don't think there's anything quite at that level in this.
Yeah. I think I'm edging it below Good Time because I think the performances in Good Time are better than the performances in this.
That's fair.
But this is more my kind of jam than that movie.
If you were going to watch one again, which one would you watch?
Oh, because that's really tricky. Because if I'm showing these two movies to someone, I'm weighing up what's the impact. So the impact is, it's the twist in this movie, because that's going to make you sit up. Because it made me sit up.
Yeah.
Versus Good Time is like
chaos,
fucking assault on your senses. It's really tricky. My personal preference is I think I'm putting Good Time just above.
Okay.
But on any given day, I might want to switch that, which doesn't help.
Could today be one of those days where you switch that?
I can't remember who owes who a favour.
We leveled up last week.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, because I got a bloodbath at the House of Death above where Get In was, and you got Get In where Get In is.
I think I'd rather have a favour in the bank.
Okay. So we go in
at this point.
So we go 5th.
I'd rather have a favour in the bank than fight for Good Time.
There's a good time in the season to have a favour in the bank.
Yeah. If you want to crack the top 5, then I'm
Good Time.
I'll go with it.
I will never watch Good Time again.
Okay.
I know for that for a fact. I can't say that about this film. So for me, I think that's the right place to put it.
This was a real pleasant surprise.
When this came out of the bag, I thought we'd be talking bottom of the stream. Because it does not look like a good film.
Yeah.
However, it is a good film.
It's a good film.
5th. Who'd have thunk it?
I think that's a really good result. I was not... wouldn't have expected that.
No.
But I think it's fair.
Agreed. Cool. Okay. Do you want to pick next week's film?
Yeah, let's do it.
What would you like to get from next week, Nick?
Action.
Action?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we get, shall we? Interesting. It has picked a film called Before I Wake. Are you aware of what Before I Wake is?
I do not think I am.
I am.
Okay.
However, only because of what has happened on this show previously.
Right.
And I'll go into it more. Before I Wake is a drama, fantasy, horror, thriller film from 2016.
Okay.
Before I Wake is written and directed by Mike Flanagan.
Oh, right. Okay.
So,
interesting.
I am fully aware of Mike Flanagan's work. I am aware of Mike Flanagan's work because of Hush.
You would say that anything Mike Flanagan does now is definitely not bottom of the stream.
Completely agreed. And I am, since we've watched Hush, I've watched pretty much everything he's made. However, I have avoided Before I Wake because I knew it was on our long list.
Okay.
So when this was put on the long list, I had not heard of it. You clearly haven't heard of it.
No.
So it is therefore allowed on the bottom of the stream rules. Yeah? Happy?
Yeah, I am.
Good.
I'm cool with that.
Good. And as long as you're cool with it, that's all that really matters. Do you want to know a synopsis?
Yes, please.
In this intense and heart-pounding supernatural thriller, Jesse and Mark decide to take in a sweet and loving 8-year-old boy, Cody. Unbeknownst to them, Cody is terrified of falling asleep. At first, they assume his previous unstable homes caused his aversion to sleep, but soon discover why. Cody's dreams manifest in reality as he sleeps. In one moment, they experience the incredible wonder of Cody's imagination, and in the next, the horrific nature of his night terrors. To save their new family, Jesse and Mark embark on a dangerous hunt to uncover the truth behind Cody's nightmares.
Okay.
There's a bit of a cast in this as well, I'm not going to lie to you.
Ooh, I'm excited.
So Jesse and Mark are played by Kate Bosworth and Thomas Jane.
Okay.
So Thomas Jane's been on the show before, I believe.
Yeah, Kate Bosworth from The Island.
Yes, indeed. Cody is played by Jacob Tremblay, who works with Flanagan a lot. He's in Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
He was in The Room, which I mentioned previously.
Okay.
Weird coincidences happen, don't they? I mentioned The Room on this show.
It's
earlier.
true. Small world.
Jacob Tremblay. And I personally think he's one of the greatest child actors in this world at the moment. It's going to be an interesting one, that. I think we might have a contender, maybe. We love Flanagan on this show. He's off this parish.
Yeah.
And Hush did very well. And this was the film that came out just after Hush.
Okay.
They're both released in the same year. So, yeah, go out and watch Before I Wake. I'm really excited to actually finally watch it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Our address is at BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com. If you want to go to our website, it's bottomofthestream.com. On the website, you'll find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables, all the other cool stuff, and you'll even find some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
handbag.
Handbag.
Have we said that before? I don't
Possibly,
know.
but I think actually there might be a handbag, whereas all the other stuff's not there. But
what about man bag?
There's definitely a man bag.
Excellent. I'm on
so
it.
Yeah, go and buy one of those. When you've done all that, head over to Patreon. Patreon.com/bottom of the stream. For a couple of quid every month, you will get early access to episodes. You will get bonus episodes. You will get a newsletter that Nick writes every month. And if you come in at the top level, you will get a wild card, which means you can pick the film that we watch that week, and the randomizer gets the week off.
Correct.
After you've done all of that, head over to Discord. We have a lot of fun in the Discord community. We had a couple of new people join this week as well, which was nice.
Yeah.
So welcome to those people.
More the merrier. Come on board.
Come on board. We're starting to do a lot more film watch-alongs in there. So we get on a call together and watch a film at the same time.
Yeah, it's been good fun.
Good, really good fun. And yeah, do all of that, and then Nick can do his bit now.
Yeah. What's my bit again?
Where you talk about reviews.
Yeah, we would like to say, if you've got a few minutes to spare, please consider leaving us a review. Anyway, you can review podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Podchaser, Cephalopod, Apple Podcasts. Did them in a different order this time.
You threw me.
Because it really helps get us noticed, puts our little podcast in front of the eyes and in the ears of more people. Maybe you could write a review in a big file of sciencey stuff, because that's what would happen in this movie, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely would.
Full of info about clones and your parents that aren't really your parents. Do a box file. That's what I want.
A box file.
Yeah.
I like it.
I bet you can order one of those as well.
Probably can. It's in the merch section. So
If
yeah,
you need any stationery.
go out and do all of that, and when you've done all of that, go and watch Before I Wake, and we will be back on Monday for The Wave, and next Thursday to talk about Flanagan film.
Cheers!
Bye!